I'd like to pass this over to Jonathan from Sinch. Jonathan, welcome back. Thanks for being with us again. We'd love to hear your perspective on the 10DLC rollout and how Sinch has approached the rollout, as well as I know you are a wealth of knowledge when it comes to this stuff. Anything else you'd like to add or that'd be helpful to our audience? We always appreciate hearing from you, Jonathan.
Sure. Thanks, Josh. There's been a lot going on. So 10DLC keeps us all really busy. So I think I'll start out with some general news here about 10DLC, some focused on political, and then some of the challenges we're seeing. So we've got some deadlines coming up with T-Mobile, some new fees that are coming down the pike. So the number pool has meant, and again, another uptick in campaign submissions, and especially anything that requires a pool of numbers. So lots of businesses do require this, and as you know, we sell to small, medium business. We sell to resellers. We have a huge reseller market with our IntelliQuint acquisition. And then we've got, strategic and stuff. So I think if you look at it, if you look at how this has impacted them, our resellers have certainly grown there where they require this. So there is a race, so to speak, to get these campaigns filed before the fees kick in. And it has caused some pain points on the APIs. They've gotten busy in some cases. We had to retry some of these, but I think that's just the nature of there is a lot of complexity to file a campaign. So using the APIs mean as we're all using the same pipeline essentially to get these provisioned. It's been some work. There's some other good news on the carrier front for campaign and TPS resizing, both SMS and MMS. As Stephanie noted, one of the big markers that we've heard from AT&T is that they're going to look to improve this and accommodate that. And the hope is June, but it could be, this is a lot of work to be able to do this. But what this means is to resize 10DLC to in my opinion, provide an MMX experience similar to what you get with toll-free and short code today. So across the board, allowing more throughput. Right now, we've got some challenges with sender and recipient-based throttling, and Sinch has done quite a bit of workarounds initially to accommodate that. But that really just means a lot of fixes on the front end to address deficiencies on the back end. So with this, we're hoping to see with the I would expect a soft rollout and then a hard rollout, much improved TPS as we go towards the election season on messages per second and capabilities, both file sizes and supported file types with AT&T. Also some improvements, and I'm not going to steal TCR's thunder, but improvements with visibility. There's new categories there that don't just impact they don't impact political, but you've got some other models that are also supported there that weren't supported before. And we also have some better visibility that's in place today and coming for ASPs and CNPs. So those two categories of folks in the ecosystem, when there are problems with campaigns, it doesn't benefit us to be able to not understand what's been filed, who the brand is, and what's being blocked. So there does need to be a level of privacy. So we don't see things we don't need to see, but there's a level of accountability with the carriers that they expect us all to be able to see what's happening and transpiring. So if you've got obviously content that's obviously not permitted, disallowed, that we go in there and intervene. So that's some of the improvements that are happening with TCR to allow all the DCAs and folks in that mechanism to be able to do that. Also, increased throughput is going to be granted, I'm told, by at least one tier one for political campaigns. And what we're being told is very high, if not unlimited throughput. So what this says really is, look, it behooves you to get registered with 10DLC, because now, that's something that typically is not granted to just everybody out there. So having the highest throughput available on tier ones to support political campaigns is a really big win in this space. And it's there to be able to support these campaigns as we look to further in the year. So some other statistics. Campaign Verify, I'm hearing it's roughly or a little bit above 70% state and local verified services, 30% are federal. So that gets us to the 100% number, but still state and local, or majority of those campaigns are there. high 90s for verification overall. And I think it was mentioned, I'm not sure, but CV is also available to send those PIN codes over SMS. So we gotta eat what we sell, right? So we got that benefits available today. So some of the things that we're seeing some troubles with, we still have issues with filtering. Folks in the industry that aren't aware of like using public URL shorteners. So that's a challenge all the time, just to make sure that everyone knows if you do have those out there, they're still filtered, they're untrusted. If you register a domain and it's available in Whois, then those messages pass without an issue. We're also seeing a significant uptick in said zeros from the carriers on short code, really short code and 10-digit senders. There's a new classification in WMC who manages the audits for unsolicited messages. And basically this is where a number, 10-digit or otherwise, trends high with reported issues, and you can have your traffic blocked. It certainly flags to all the carriers as a problem. And I think these are mechanisms that are, I think just the awareness here is these are mechanisms coming into place that everybody has some insight into who's getting in trouble out there. So it requires, at Sinch, we require an RCA. We want to move this back to a live state. So we want to get these resolved quickly. But really, that's the issue. If people report these campaigns as having problems, we all have a responsibility to react in the ecosystem to address it. And then last, there's some serious infractions for short code as well. Like this is a 10DLC call, but I think people should be aware that it's not 10DLC doesn't have all the heat here. It's across all senders, and they really want to see that if you're operating above board, things are okay. But if it's a short code, a TFN, or a 10DLC, and you've got some open complaints, then the carriers do have, in some cases, a third strike policy, which means it's game over after you've come across their desk 3 times. And some of these are resulting in penalties and fines for the folks that are just blatantly ignoring it.